you'll understand, you all developers gonna understand the perspective of the QA. What QA does, how it is done, what kind of tools are used, what kind of difficulties we face while we are working with you, okay? That is what I'm going to explain, okay? So that is all about our software testing. What kind of tools I said, what kind of all, you might have heard that manual and automation testing, but there are a lot more in testing. There are so many types of testing, okay? So today we are, it's not like as a developer, you have to do all kind of testing, I'm not saying that, okay? But there are so many types of testing and you need to have a QA, and QA is must. Whenever you are launching any product, you are launching any software in production, it has to be tested. Without a testing, if you are launching something, it will be a big glitch because there will be so many bugs and it won't be even usable. Let's say if Zepto is launching the application without any testing, then what will happen? Booking might not happen, right? Even delivery will not happen, the person will not be assigned to deliver the things or write items, whichever you have ordered might not be added to cart. What will happen? The product will be a big fail, right? So testing is very much necessary in software development. And it's not like you have to do the testing only once the development is completed. So nowadays the trend is to do testing as early as possible, okay? So let's cover those topics in this. Yeah, next. Okay, next. Here we'll cover best practices we can use, challenges we are facing, and strategies. What kind of strategies we can, as a QA, what kind of strategies you can apply while testing the software or your SaaS product. Okay, next. Yeah. First of all, we'll cover that importance of testing. Yes, next, please, all. Yeah. So here we'll cover that why, first of all, it is important. Then we'll learn that what is it. Because if we are not knowing the benefits of it, then what is the need of understanding it, right? So first we'll cover the importance of software testing. Then what are the all types of and fundamentals of testing. Then what we discussed about SDLC, software development life cycle. Then the same is STLC, okay? But in that we'll follow the software testing life cycle. Then strategies we can use, and best practices for software testing, common challenges, and AI trends, okay? I hope you are with me, right? Okay. Okay, importance, okay. Next. Okay, yeah. So what is software testing? First of all, what is the software testing? Let's say, let's give you an example, okay? Let's say you are going in the market, okay? And let's say you want to buy a sofa, right? This is a sofa, you want to buy a sofa. So what will you check for when you want to buy a sofa for your house, living room, okay? What will you check for? Yeah, tell me, can anybody tell me? Comfort, yes. Quality, space, price, right. Yes. Color, right. Fabric, yes. Yes, so we check for all this quality, comfort, color, how it is looking, how many people can sit, whether it is durable or not, right? So we check all these things. So what we are doing by checking all these things, what we are doing? We are actually testing it, that whether it will look good, whether it will fit our requirement or not. So we are testing it actually. So the same goes with the product, right? For the software product, I mean. So what happens with software product? Software is used by common people, right? Just like us. Any common people use software and application, right? So what we have to take care in software, that let's say we are making a Zepto owner. So we have to make sure that every functionality is working properly or not. Whatever is the functionality, let's say ordering of the items, right? Then the payment should work properly. Then delivery should happen. Status should be updated. The map should be, map should be updated, right? When the delivery person is coming to your gate. The OTP functionality and everything. So these are all the functionality that should be working fine, right? So that's one thing. That is only one aspect of testing. That is only functionality testing. But we also have to make sure of the performance aspect, security aspect, and usability. I have not mentioned here, but usability also we have to take care of. Okay, so what covers under performance, security, and usability? That will cover under the next slides. Okay, so we have to take care of all of these aspects: functionality, performance, security, usability. Okay, so what is software testing? Software testing is actually evaluating this whatever is the process of evaluating all these aspects of the software product is software testing, right? So why we should do this? Why we should do the software testing now? Because everything is connected to cost, right? Whenever we do take any services, whenever we buy anything, so it is always connected to cost, right? Cost and quality, whatever things we buy. So finding a bug in production can cost you 30 to 100 times more than finding it in the early stage of the development. So that is why testing as early as possible. That is why you have to do testing as early as you can. It's not like you do the testing at the end of the cycle. Okay, next. So that is why testing is required. So it's somebody, so anybody has found bugs in design phase? Anybody has found that? There are less QAs, I guess. Yes, you have done that. Yeah, so if you are finding a bug in design phase, it won't go in development phase, right? So development hours, development cost will be saved. You understand that? So that is why as you go higher in the development phase, let's say you are going to implementation, right? So as you go higher, the cost of the bug will increase. Now let's say you went into the bug went into the production, okay? Let's say a small bug, even the small bug, okay? So if it went to production, then you have to fix it in the all environment first of all. You cannot make the environments inconsistent. You have to fix it in staging environment. Also, when the bug is in the production, it is also about the reputation of the company, right? So when you can also, the owner can also lose the customer base based on the bugs. So that is why finding a bugs as early as possible is must. So that will actually save the cost, and it will even faster the development. It will make the progress faster of the development, because every time, as Khushbu said, that the deadline is only 2 days, like, right? And you don't get, we always don't get time for testing, but it is very much necessary to provide good time for testing as well. It is must. We have to fight for it sometime, that we need time for testing, right? Okay, next. So we'll consider the benefits of testing here. Yeah, next you can consider all. Yes, fine. So first is your quality is ensured. First thing, whatever the client has asked, whatever the product owner has asked, it is built correctly or not. But here we don't only check for the whatever is we are looking at. We don't just check for the UI. We also have to take care of the business logic, right? Let's say there is an application for selling a car, okay? Let's say there is an application of selling a car and it has multiple modules. One, from this side you can sell a car. I mean, you can put the condition of the car, whether the car has dent or not, whether the window is broken or not, okay? Then the car tires are inflated or not. So you can provide all these details in while putting your car on sale, okay? And the next module is buyer. The same car will be seen to the buyers who wants to buy second-hand car, okay? So in these kind of car selling and car buying portal, is it we have to take care of how we calculate the price of the car, right? So there is a lot of business logic behind that. That let's say if the car's tire is inflated, then provide, let's say the total amount is 100, okay? Then the tires are inflated, then put 5% penalty on that. And it can apply to n number of cars, right? Let's say if there is an Audi and if there is an Alto, right? So you have to apply in percentage. So we have to verify all this business logic, right? So it will ensure the actual quality of the software. If we are not verifying this logic, it will be a big glitch, right? It won't show a proper pricing. So then what this platform is meant for? If it is not even showing the correct pricing, then it is not worth to use that platform at all, right? So first of all, these are the benefits. First, it ensures the quality, right? Whatever the requirement is there, it should functional as per the business logic as well, right? Then the next is cost. Yes, sorry, previous one. Yes. So detecting bugs early will prevent the rework. As I said, as you go higher, you have to do the rework. Risk mitigation. It has to, it avoids the risk of failures in deployment. So after you do deployment in the production, this will mitigate the actual risk. You won't see the unnecessary bugs in the after deployment. And it will actually enrich the customer satisfaction. Then improve performance. Here, most of the time, when there is a product-based company, as we discussed, so it is every time when there is a product-based company, they every time do the performance testing. Okay, let's say there is Amazon, okay? So in Amazon, there is a cell. There is a cell, that's big billion cell, right? Big billion cells. Yes, so you have not even tested that your product is gonna work with thousands of and millions of users or not. Then what will happen? You are just on the big billion day, it's not working, then what? How it is, how it is your reputation, right? That you are announcing a big billion day, but on big billion day, the software itself is not working and giving error. Then it is not making any help. So before you are making such kind of cells, or before you are doing such kind of exercise for production, you have to test it well for the before you launch such things in production. So you have to do it in the staging environment. That let's say we are expecting thousands or millions of users in production, then how it gonna showcase? I mean, how it will work? What will happen to the system? Whether it will break down, whether it will crash, or what will happen to the system? So we actually have to test this kind of things, so that such kind of risk can be mitigated by the testing as well. And actually faster time to market, because when we are doing testing continuously, we will not find unexpected bugs. So this way it is actually, everybody thinks that testing is waste of time. It is wasting a time, and it takes more and more time to go into the deployment. I mean, to go into the production, right? But actually it saves the time on longer, if we consider it on the longer stay, because it will actually save your time, because it will actually reduce the bugs, and it will give the better product to the end user. Okay, next. So we'll consider here fundamentals of testing, what kind of testings are there. Yeah, next. Okay, so first of all, we can have manual and automation testing. And in manual, we can have white box, black box, and gray box testing. In what is black box testing? Anybody here? Any QA? No QA? Yeah, functional testing done by the QA, that is correct. That is in black box testing. But what is actually black box testing is when you are doing the testing with the help of only what you care about is input and what you get as the output, what you saw as the output. That is the black box testing. But if you are taking a help of coding, if you literally look into the code, that what is the if-else condition, what is the while loops, what is the all coding in the particular module, then it is a white box testing, right? When you actually look into the code, then it is a white box testing. If you are not looking into the code, if you are not taking care about what is actually written in the code, but all you care about is what is the input you are giving and what is the output you are getting. So that is a black box testing. Okay, and the gray box is a mix of that, black box and white box. So in black box testing, there are functional and non-functional testing. Yes, next. Okay, so what is now functional testing and what is non-functional testing? So functional testing, as I say, it focuses on the functionality part, whether all the functionality, let's say login, forgot password, sending in emails, all this functionality is working properly or not. Business logic, we check for the business logic, that is all covered under the functional testing. And next is the non-functional testing. So in non-functional testing, we covers the performance, security, usability and compatibility. These kind of aspects are non-functional testing. Yes, next. So here further, so all we have heard about is manual and automation testing. But if you consider manual testing, there are so many kind of testing. And we, as a tester, we perform each and every testing activities. So it's not like we are just finding a bug and reporting bug, but we are performing actually different kind of testing activities. Okay, so first is the unit testing. Unit testing is generally done by developers, right? So that is unit testing. Next is the integration testing. In that we do the integration of two modules. Let's say there is a login module and forgot password module, two modules. So when you are doing the click on the forgot password, you should get some email, and then you reset the password, you should be able to log in again. So that is a testing between two modules, login and forgot password module. When you're changing the password, you should be able to log in with the new password, right? So integration testing, then the entire system testing. In entire system testing, we perform different kind of testing. That is smoke testing, sanity testing, monkey testing and end-to-end testing. So anybody knows here what is smoke testing? Nobody? Okay, no QAs here. Okay, fine, no worries. We'll cover this smoke testing and sanity testing, all this in later of this slide. Then there is acceptance testing, alpha, beta testing and user acceptance testing. When do we do user acceptance testing? Anybody has idea? Yes, so it is generally done at the client end. Sometimes we also have a UAT tester that is generally provided by the client, right? So what they do, they verify the business logic and how with the end user it's gonna perform. If the end user is going to find any difficulties using the software or not, that is actually done in the user acceptance testing by UAT tester from client side. So there is also alpha and beta kind of testing where we launch the software for particular users. We have beta versions, right? So beta version have some new features. So we are actually testing the software. That is actually a testing of software with the beta version. That is launched to only few users, not every users. So that is beta testing. And if we consider non-functional testing, there are 4 kind of: security, performance, usability and compatibility. Okay. So in security, we do penetration testing, whether there is any security errors or not. There are we have different kind of security errors. You have heard about XSS, right? Then click cross-site scripting, right? Everybody has heard that. So we generate, there are even tools available for that. To do a VAPT report, to do a VAPT testing, there are tools, right? It will give you give the URL and it will give you that this site is having that kind of vulnerability or not. So there are, if you consider OWSP, ZAP, there is top 10 vulnerabilities. So we have to take care of all those vulnerabilities while we are launching any software. So that we are doing is security testing. And there are specific tools that we can use for doing this kind of testing. Okay. Then there is a performance testing. So in performance, it's not just finished that your system, what your system is. If you generate a load of millions users, hundreds or millions of whatever is your benchmark, you have to mark your benchmark. That if you are doing for Amazon, then it might have millions of users. But if you have a software whether it's only 1,000, you can check the database, right? That you are expecting these number of users. So based on that, you should do the performance testing. If you are expecting a user, you are a new software. Let's say you are a new application. You just launched your application and you are expecting a load of around 1,000 users, if you say. So then at that time, it's not like you have to do the application. You should have the application in such a way that it accepts the millions of users. It's not feasible, right? To have so many servers and all that. Whatever is your expectation, that should be, the system or your product should be able to withstand that many number of users. But if you will do it like the system is only expecting 1,000 users, and if you are doing testing for millions of users, then it is not worth it, right? For millions of users, you may require higher server, higher infrastructure and everything. So whatever is your requirement, based on that, we have to do the performance testing. So first we have to ask the client that what number of users you gonna expect, or we can check the database that these are the number of the users that may come all at the same time, right? So under the performance testing, we have various scenarios: load, then stress testing, volume testing, scalability, whether it can endure or not, endurance, and if the system is breaking at the time of doing the performance testing, how it will recover from this phase. So all this kind of testing is covered under the performance testing. And the usability, who knows about the usability testing? Usability is a simple word. What do you think what it will be doing? Yeah, that is actually for accessibility testing. Yes, let's say, let's talk about this now as the topic is arrived. Accessibility, what do you mean by accessibility? Let's say there is some people who cannot access the system properly. Let's say some blind and deaf people. So for them as well, the system should be usable. So that comes under the accessibility testing. These people should be able to use the system properly. So that comes under accessibility. That is also usability only. Then we have to also do UI testing. Whatever the UI element is, those elements are consistent or not. Sometimes if you find the bug that this button is not showing correctly, and the developer will say, it's okay, it's just a 1 pixel of difference, right? Even the QA will find it without even having the pixel tracker or something like that. We'll just look at it and we'll find that this is 1 pixel misplaced, right? So yeah, you will find that this is not a bug, but actually it matters because your system should be consistent. It should have proper look and feel. If some button is in green color and some button is in blue color, it won't look good, right? It should be consistent, first of all. So then whatever is the good, when we go and buy clothes, what we do? We buy clothes of some color we like. We just randomly don't buy the clothes of having any color combination. Do we do that? We don't do that. We find some matching, that pair should be like this, right? It's same. The software the person is using, the software should also look good while we are using it. We cannot afford any glitches in looking as well, right? So those all things comes under UI testing. It should be consistent. Every screens, everything, every button should be same size. Even the error messages, I would say, all error messages should be having some consistency. Say password is a mismatch, password is not correct. So it's like there should be some consistency in test messages as well. Okay, next. So we covered functional testing, right? Now, what do we actually use? What tools do we actually use for this? So these are the tools. In Jira, we report bugs and all that. We mark the bugs, right? In Jira, we have Zephyr. Anybody has used Zephyr here? You all are developer. Your testing team might be using it with Jira. That is the tool, Zephyr, in which you can write test cases. That is there is a function in Jira. You can write test cases. In that, you can write particular steps for it. You can write actual and expected result. You can write prerequisite, and you can also link the bug you are finding from that Zephyr there only. You can also upload in bulk your test cases. You can write in Excel sheet, and then you can upload in Zephyr by using their utility. Okay, there is the utility for that. No, it's different. Zephyr is totally for Jira. Yes, X-rays we have. Yes, Jira is also, Zephyr is also there, same. Yes, similar kind of. Because when I was doing testing at that time, 5 or 6 years back, I was using Zephyr for that. And we were uploading through utility, actually. Because then there is also a tool called Test Trail, in which you can also write test cases. You can generate report. You can mark it as pass and fail. You can generate report that these many are passed, these many are failed. So these are all the tools. And sometimes if there is a very small project, we can also use simple Excel, and we can use all our prerequisite test data. We can put in Excel. Next. And for non-functional testing, for performance and security, we have tools like JMeter. Okay, JMeter is an open source tool. You don't need to pay anything for that, and you can use it. There are lots of tutorials are available for that. And for the same, we have a Blaze meter as well. For it is same for same like JMeter, but Blaze meter is like you can use for multiple users. I mean, when there is a lot of when there is users in million, JMeter won't be a good choice, because then you'll have to go in the distributed load testing, because one system, one computer cannot test the load of more than 10,000 or something. Okay, then you'll have to use the Blaze meter. So these are the tools. Load runner is also a tool for performance testing, and I talked about the OWSP. So that is a tool for the security testing, and Burp Suite is also used for security testing. Yes, Postman is for API testing. Everybody uses that. Yes, next. Okay, now we covered this left-hand part of the first diagram. Manual testing, black, gray, white box testing, and then functional and non-functional testing. This was all under manual testing, whatever we covered. Now, what is the automation testing? When you are writing some codes and scripts to verify the actual result with expected result, then it is the automation testing. And for that, we use tools. So there are tools like Selenium, Catalan Studio, then latest is like Robot Framework, Playwright. So these kind of tools are used to write the automation script. So this is automation testing. Next. So what you can achieve with the automation testing, first of all, is a speed. Let's say you have to perform 100 test cases. Then how many how many hours a person will take to do the, to run the 100 test cases? It will take some more time than the system will take, definitely, right? Are you getting my point? So it will give you speed, right, first of all, because one person cannot run 100 test cases in 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, but same thing can be done by the automation. It will run all the test cases in lesser time than the human does it, right? So first thing is speed. Next is repeatability. Same test you don't have to run multiple times. You don't need to do it again and again. Let's say you find one bug. You are finding one bug, and then you have to again test that. And you also have to check for the other functionality that is not affecting it, right? So same thing can be done. That is called actually regression, right? Anybody knows about regression testing here? Okay, so that part of the testing can be automated regression testing. Whenever you are finding a bug, it should not affect the other modules. So you have to also test the other modules whenever you are finding the bug. So that can be automated, because every time you have to do is testing the other modules. So that can be automated, right? So whenever you are finding a bug, you can do regression testing with code. Then the next is accuracy. As a human, we might find some error, right? I mean, we might some miss test cases as well while doing some kind of testing. But as a system, we'll going to perform all test cases. So we can reduce that human error. It will increase the accuracy. That is also cost effective, because you don't have to spend time over and over again. So you don't have to spend the manual efforts on it. So you don't have to have a specific QA engineer, right, for that. So over and over, it will save your cost and better coverage, because in automation, we can also do it like there is a Selenium grid, right? So with one test cases, you can check on all devices. It's like that. So that is why you can easily do it. You can check it in multiple devices. So it will give you better coverage. And if it is breaking in any one device, then also you will be able to find it. You will be getting that error report that this is the error or this is the bug in particular device. Okay. Next. So these are the tools used. Selenium is a general tool that is used for most of the web application. Then if you are having a mobile application, for that APM is used. Okay. Then there is a Cucumber. Okay. Cucumber is generally used for BDD. That is BDD. What is BDD? It is business driven development. Okay. In Catalan Studio, there you can have some kind of record and test feature. You can record your script in Catalan as well. And latest tools are Playwright and Robot Framework. Next. Okay, so these we covered all the functional and non-functional and automation testing. So as there is a SDLC, there is a STLC. In testing itself, there are lots of phases. Okay, so STLC is software testing lifecycle. Next. So in what we do in STLC, we do, first of all, whatever is the requirements, we do analysis of it, requirement analysis. Then what is covered under the test planning? Anybody has ever seen, not just created, but anybody has seen test plan document? Right. So there is actually a test plan document that is created for that, and what is written under that, whatever is the objective of testing, what is the goals of testing, what all kind of testing that gonna perform on this software, that is all covered in the test plan document. Apart from that, what kind of resources gonna be put? Let's say you are putting 6 number of engineers in testing of this product. Then all these things are written in whatever is the resources, not just persons, but apart from that, let's say you require some tools, Blazemeter, some subscription, browser stack. So all these kind of things are written in test plan document. And whatever is the scope of the testing, whatever the modules that need to be tested, all these things are written in test plan document. Then we do the test case development per module. Whatever is the module, we do test case. We write test cases for that. We write actual steps, how you can test it with a URL, and whatever is the step we need to perform, whatever is the prerequisite. Before starting this, you should have this kind of environment ready, right? That is, prerequisite. Then there is the environment setup. All we know about the different kind of environments, right? There is a development environment, then there is the staging environment, there is a production, and people also have UAT environment. Not every company will have UAT environment, but these are all the 4 kind of environment. So that setup is done. Then the actual test execution. In that, what we do test execution, we run all the test cases. We report bug. If there is any kind of bug we are finding, we report that. We retest it, we do regression testing. That is all goes under the test execution. And then there is a test closer. In that, we give the report of that, whatever is the testing activities we perform. These are the bugs, we give report of that. Okay, next. So this is entire software testing life cycle. Whatever the phases we go through. Yes, next. Now we consider the strategies you can use to test your software. So yes, smoke testing we heard earlier, right? So what is actually smoke testing? Smoke testing means, let's say you are getting any build to test. Okay, you are getting some build, then the develop, it's like just a new product, okay, and you are getting some build to test. And here you're seeing that they are saying that, I mean developers are saying that we have performed dashboard, I mean dashboard is done, login part is done, then there is, let's say, change password is done, everything is done. Okay, they are saying that. But when we are finding, when we are testing, we are not even able to log in, right? We are not even able to log into the system. They said we have developed the system, we have developed the entire system, we have developed all this module, we have developed admin module, everything. But when we start testing it, the login itself is not working, right? So such kind of scenarios happen. So in this case, what we do is we only check for the critical scenarios. That is first we check for the critical scenarios, that on these things should be work. Then only we test further. If these things are not working, then we will not test the build further. So that is called smoke testing. Because there is no meaning of investing your time in, I mean investing or wasting actually, wasting your time in something which is, I mean where there is basic things are even not working, right? So this is a strategy which is followed, that is a smoke testing. So whenever we get some new build, we always do this. First of all, this is done, smoke testing. We check for the critical scenarios first. Whatever the test cases we have developed, from there we check for the critical first. We also give priority, right, in test cases. In test cases we have priorities, critical, then high, medium, low, that kind of. So what we do is we first execute the critical scenarios, that is smoke testing. Okay, next is, another strategy is test-driven development, where we write the test cases first, okay? Write test before writing the code. So developer will have the test cases. Before the code is written, the tests are written earlier than that. And the next is behavior-driven development, in which we collaborate with the stakeholders and product managers or actual client to check for the actual business logic and whatever is their expectation of requirement. That is behavior-driven development. For that, there are also tools for that. As a Cucumber is generally used for business-driven development. Okay, risk-based testing. In risk-based testing, we focus the high-risk areas first. Let's say, if you are same example I will take. Let's say if you are launching a product for selling car. Okay, so what is the high-risk area in that? What is the main thing that can affect the entire software? What do you think? Any guesses on that? What is the highest or very risky area in that software? Sorry? I'm not able to hear. No, that's okay. That's okay. Engine is okay. Yeah, but that is also one thing. But I'm saying is, in a software, what is the one thing that is must, that need to be checked? That for the entire business is dependent on that. The calculation of the price, right? Let's say you are selling any car. You want to sell your used car. Then whatever the calculation you are getting as owner, that should be displayed correctly and with some logic, right? If you are having some dents, then it should be calculated properly, it should be deducted properly, otherwise the business person will make losses, right? If you are giving a price of $100, $1,000 instead of $500, then the entire business is gonna make loss if you are not showing the correct prices, right? So these, first of all, we have to check the high risk area. Such kind of testing strategy is risk-based testing. And exploratory testing, we just go with the intuition and creativity. In that, we just randomly check the software based on our intuition. That is exploratory testing. Okay, next. Okay, best practices. Am I taking longer time? I'm not sure when I started. I think I started around 4:30. Okay. Next. So these are all the best practices in software testing. We should start testing as early as possible. We should have defined the clear requirement. Then we should develop a test plan. Every time test plan is very must, because if you are not having a plan properly, then you may miss something. You might miss, every scope, every goal, every test closure activity should be added in test plan. Next. Okay, automate repetitive tasks. Okay, so we have to do regression automatically, if possible, okay? Not every, because sometimes systems are also complex and we don't always do automation testing for small system as well, but automation is must. Then prioritize testing, high risk areas need to be tested first, and regression testing is very must. You cannot skip the regression testing, that is must, and you can use automation for that. Next. Test data should be maintained. If you are not maintaining, if you are putting random test data, then it will be a big glitch. You will find unnecessary bugs. Okay, so you will have to use proper test data, otherwise you will not be able to replicate the actual production scenario. Sometimes it all depends on the test data. So you should have maintained the test data. Collaborate with stakeholders as many times as you need to. First of all, because you have to understand the business logic. If you are getting some question around it, if you have some views about it, let's say you can say to the client, you can directly communicate with the client that if we are doing it like this, it's gonna impact this as well. So should we do first option or second option? So we can always ask client. Sometimes we don't have to do assumptions. Sometimes we take assumption and then we think that we find a bug, and the client reported same. So it's like sometimes we can take assumption, but not every time, because otherwise we have to understand how the business is running. If we can think based on that, then we can take our decision. Otherwise, if we are not knowing that how business is actually running behind the scene, then we have to actually talk to the customer. Next. And non-functional testing is also must when we are launching for large number of audience. And traceability, yes, traceability, what is traceability? So every time we are finding a bug, it has to be attached to the test case, and test case need to be attached with the requirements. So whatever is the matrix between the requirement and the test cases, that is requirement traceability matrix. So all your requirement will be matched with the test cases. Next. Just what challenges do we face? So what is this? This is a bug, isn't it? Do you think this is bug? One slide is there, another is there. So I have put some bugs in that. So that is inconsistent behavior. Okay, next. Next up, I start everything. Okay, so these are the common challenges that we face. Okay, one is the automation challenges. Not every system we can do automate, because it is very complex to automate system, because we frequently there is a changes in code, frequently there is change in UI, but now there is also tools to that will, I mean AI tools will help us do that. There is a browser stack. It helps us with self-healing automation. Okay, what it does it like? Yes, next. What it does it like? It will automate you if you are changing some element in your UI, then it will automatically take that change in account, and you don't need to update the automation script. Otherwise, if you are making some change in the UI, then you have to rewrite your code. But now with the use of AI tools, there is a browser stack. These tools are providing such facility. Okay. Changing requirement is one of the things. Communication gap is the very big challenge in this, because we generally there is a misalignment in communication between the developer and QA and business analyst. Next, inconsistent environment. Yes, so sometimes we cannot replicate the same issue in staging environment, but there will be same issue in production. So we have to make sure that we have same environment, development, staging, and UAT and production. All should be same. All configurations should be same. Otherwise, we will find the unnecessary bugs. Yes, next. So what are now emerging trends in software testing that we'll cover? This is the last topic. Okay. Next. So now there is AI-driven test automation. As I said, self-healing automation is also there. Then there is a cloud-based testing. What is cloud-based testing? Anybody has idea? What is cloud-based testing? What is cloud-based? When you are using tools like browser stack, right? It provides you lots of various devices. You can test it on Android, iPhone, iPad, various devices that are already available. So that is the cloud-based testing. You can run your test on it. You can also run automation tests there as well. Okay? You can do it on multiple platforms and multiple devices. That is cloud-based testing. So this is, for that we use browser stack. There is a South Lab for that. There is a Lambda test. So these are the tools that is used. Even you can test your mobile application on browser stack. You can upload your APK file. You can connect your test flight account there. Okay, next is test automation. We should integrate the CI/CD. And to do the regression testing, we should have our automation test in CI/CD pipeline. Okay. Then the next is shift left. And for, as I said, shift left is similar, involving testing as early as possible. Starting from the requirement phase, we have to communicate with the developers, and there is also static testing, it is called, if you consider. The static testing is like you do meetings, you understand it. This kind of things are covered into static testing. So shift left, it's like involving testing earlier in the software development cycle. And shift right is emphasizing the testing in production. As a tester, we also have to do testing in production environment. That is must. Because something is, if you have not changed the configuration of some, let's say some database configurations are there, some environment variables are there. So these kinds of things are not if updated in production testing. So we get some time of this kind of bugs in production. So every time we launch something, we have to do production testing. So that is covers under the shift right. A/B testing also what we are doing, whatever we are real-time monitoring we are doing. So that all comes under the shift right testing. Okay, next. Next, TDD and BDD we also covered, writing test cases as early as possible. And self-healing automation, I have already talked about that it adapts to the UI and functionality changes without manually changing the scripts. So yes, this was all about the software testing trends and what kind of strategies you can use. So if you have any question, we can go further. Or was it very much technical? Okay, fine. I'm done with this.